All right, so this is going to be kind of a fun video that Jay Ross and I thought would be fun to record, and we felt like you guys would all enjoy this type of conversation because we put out a post because many MLS pages were doing it, talking about how Jamie Vardy has confirmed he's going to be leaving at the end of this Premier League season from Leicester City. And it is no question that the Sounders are in dire need of a lethal striker since the prime days of Raul Ruiz, and it's kind of been the Achilles heel of the Sounders since then. Few pages have talked about it. Should we bring him in? He's going to cost literally just a bag of chips, pretty much, not free, but I think it was like 1 million euros or whatnot. That's nothing. And he's 38 years old. He's still bagging goals in the Premier League for a team that was relegated in Leicester City. Let's talk a little bit about it. Again, there's no actual speculation or anything that we're going to look to bring in Jamie Vardy, but in our previous video, we brought up at the end how the Sounders will have a bonus transfer window before the Club World Cup. So they'll be able to bring in signings. They're going to have some exceptions, a little bit of extra money that's given to them for that. Every team in that tournament's going to get that window. Each league is supplying them with different assets to help them out in the tournament because it's a huge cash prize for the winner. Humongous. And every win you get, every successful moment, advancing, you gain a lot of money out of it. So I'm assuming all the leagues are like, hey, we want to push you guys to do well in it because it's going to help our league out and it's going to help our country's football. So talking about Jamie Vardy, my hypothesis behind it was maybe you bring him in before the Club World Cup because you need someone. He's got speed. It's something that Jordan Morris has, but as well, he's clinical. That's the big thing is Jamie Vardy. I think he has a swagger to him. I know he's a hothead. He's a little bit, ruffle and tuffle and, gets in people's heads, but I like that about him. Like, he's not Neil Moipe annoying, but he's the right amount annoying, which I really like about him. But in regards to Jamie Vardy, what are your thoughts on it? And then after you give your opinion, Jay Ross, let's go through the comments as well, because a lot of people had a lot to say about it when we posted about it.
Me personally, I don't think right now I would say we should sign Jamie Vardy, and I think part of that is just due to where the squad is right now. I feel like we're at that point where really soon we need full turnover, and I don't know if I'd want to add another 38-year-old into that equation. And as much as, yeah, he's 38, he's coming from the Prem, he would still want minutes. He'd still want to play in this team, and he'd probably become a pretty big point. And so I don't think he'd be a signing that I would complain if we made. I'd probably be happy about it. I'd probably vocalize that he can be good for the Sounders in the short term, but I don't think I would add his age into the equation with where the squad is right now.
Yeah, I definitely think the age factor, that was the biggest thing that people were commenting on social media about was his age. And I don't, for me, obviously as I've brought up, I don't think this team needs to be signing older players for sure. But of someone of Jamie Vardy's quality, I think I would make an exception to it. And I think, to paraphrase, someone put this comment out. I'm going to try to find it for you all right now. Simon commented saying, low key, yes, until we can sign a legit long term DP, what do we got to lose? And that's kind of how I look at it too with Jamie Vardy. He could be a good stopgap. Say you sign him just for 1 year or maybe two, knowing Craig Weibel, he doesn't like giving people 1 year contracts, but kind of similar to Ryan Kent's deal, where it's like, just give him a year, let him help us out in the Club World Cup, let him play out the rest of the season to our MLS Cup title charge. And so maybe even not even a year, 6 months to a year. I don't know if you would accept that, but if you could get something like that, I think it's a good idea. And it helps us maybe helps show us what a good striker, a legitimate striker can do in this team to help us out offensively. So it's like, if Jamie Vardy could flourish, shit, then we kind of can see that maybe we need that type of striker. Maybe we need more of a Musovski type of striker, obviously, to a better pedigree. But I think it adds something a little bit fun, kind of like how we talked about with Kent, how he's a fun signing. I think he would add that. I think just the age thing's the big deal. But the thing is people think because he's super old, he doesn't still have. This is, in my opinion, this isn't like a Stevie G when he came to the LA Galaxy, Douglas Costa type of situation. Vardy started off his career very, very late. And we've seen it with a lot of these late blooming players. They kind of age like wine. Unlike players that start really early on, like let's give, for example, a Rooney or a Rashford. They started playing really early and they're having massive burnout kind of in their latter stages a lot sooner than players like Vardy because they started so much sooner. And Vardy, I think, still has easily 2 to 3 more good years left in him, be it in Europe, be it anywhere. I don't know. But I think it would be an interesting addition to the equation, but at the same time, I do agree with you. Do we wanna add another wonder unk to the squad?
My thing is too is, like, we have a lot of the older guys,
Yeah.
and I feel like what we could take all the advantages we get from the Club World Cup, a little extra money, the extra window. Why not use that and take advantage of go getting a younger striker somewhere, taking maybe another one of those risks on someone young? We have all the U22 spots. This could be a good spot to some young South American, some young foreign player, a goal threat. Be like, hey, you're 20 years old. We're playing in a Club World Cup. Why not come make your name here? Like, that's such a big stage for a young player to bring his name. I think right now could be a really enticing time for a young talent to come to the Sounders with that coming up. And I think I'd rather us invest that way, and that could help the club way more long term than us hoping to beat Botafogo 2-1. You know what I mean?
No, and I think I totally agree with you. The problem I have with it is I with that small window, knowing Craig, I just don't think he's gonna take a risk like that. I think a calculated GM would already have looked into this problem. Like, okay, let me see if I could try to talk to one of that type of player, young South American, Europe, mid-age European player that can make a big difference in that striker position for us. But start negotiating now. So when that a window opens up, we get him through the door ASAP. He gets into training before the tournament starts. But knowing us, I don't think we're gonna take that kind of risk before that tournament in such a small window. Like we all know, Sounders didn't sign anybody for 3 straight summer windows. I don't see Craig finally being like, "You know what? I'll do it." Before the Club World Cup in a smaller window. So that's why I was kind of more on this, like, he's a little bit more surefire. He's a guy that has a lot of experience. He wouldn't cost us a lot. If you just get the negotiations done ASAP, it probably won't take long because again, he's leaving. It's already established. So that's why I'm on that. But at the same time, yeah, 100%. I would be more on board with that. I just don't. I mean, either way, I don't see Jamie Vardy even happening.
Yeah.
But if I was in Craig Weibel's shoes, I already know where his head would be at for that.
Yeah, I like to be the more optimistic one on this channel, and I'm hoping that with the Club World Cup, I'm hoping Garber, the rest of the league's kinda, like, pushing, like, "Hey, Sounders, come on, you gotta do something, make
Do
us look good,
something.
bring some money in, come on," and I think that would be the wiser way to go about it, is a move like that in terms of the long-term growth of Sounders and MLS as a whole, and I think a guy like Jamie Vardy too, historically, the MLS has had, like, the title of, retirement league. It's where players go to end their career, and I think having Jamie Vardy go to the Sounders before the biggest stage the Sounders have been on before might sort of have the murmurs around the world being like,
Yeah.
Look at that. Still a retirement league. They got Suarez, Busquets, and flipping Vardy. Like, come on."
No, 100%. Yeah, and it's definitely gonna be interesting to see if the Sounders do anything before that, like, Club World Cup window, and I think once we get closer to that, we will do a video talking about, like, "Hey, what can we address?" Because we already know Sounders realistically, we're not gonna do anything in the tournament, but I think we should really take it seriously because I've talked about it in, I think, one video previously before the season started. This is a good opportunity for the Sounders to, like, brand themselves globally. Whenever people think about MLS, Miami, Galaxy, people wear their jerseys all over the world. And you're going to be playing in a huge tournament that everyone's going to be watching in. Why can't you now put yourselves in the hat to be that third MLS team to be like, "Oh, yeah, huh, Sounders. Yeah, they're kind of a cool team. Let me get, like, Ryan Kent was one of my favorite FIFA players. Let me get him on the back." Or like, "Oh, Vardy scored against Atletico Madrid at the Sounders. Why don't I get his shirt?" And this and that. I think we're very well renowned for obviously having Xbox as our sponsor. Like, people know us for that, but it could be a really big opportunity to, throw yourself in the hat for that global recognition from the league. And I just don't feel like we've taken the right approach doing that. I'm not saying go all eggs in for the Club World Cup, but this is a once in a lifetime opportunity that shouldn't be scoffed at, shouldn't be taken for granted because there's a lot of not even just like game wise, financial wise, long term gain from, doing well, taking it seriously, having a proper roster for it. Obviously, we didn't make all the signings I would want us to see, not ingoing, outgoing transfers going into the season, but with what we have, what we got, I still think we could maybe make that one more signing to make things interesting before going into that tournament.
I agree 100%. I personally don't think it should be Vardy, but what's unique about this tournament too is you get financially rewarded for every big result. So, we just need to get that one guy in, and if we have one good game, and even beyond that, forget, like, the global recognition, in terms on a fan level, you know how big that'll be for the city of Seattle in terms of we've seen the attendance drop, putting butts back in seats if all these casuals would be like, "Yep, I went and saw the Sounders tie Atletico Madrid 1-1." Like, that'll bring people back to the stadium.
Simeone was rattled right next to me on my seats.
And I mean, okay, I don't expect us to go far. I don't expect us to pull out a result like that, but why not go all for it? Because that's the type of thing where people across Seattle see big names and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we tied them? Like, maybe the Sounders are worth watching." We've seen it in the start of the Sounders era when we'd have all those big friendlies like that Chelsea game, Barcelona. That was a time when the Sounders attendance kept increasing, like we were talked around the city. And this is sort of a way to cement ourselves and actually bring back the ECS actually being full, the stadium actually being full. So I don't know if Vardy is necessarily the guy to help us do that, but I can see why you want it to happen and why people are for it. It's just not the route I personally would say we should go down.
No, I totally agree, and yes, I am for, but at the same time, I'm more so for what you brought up earlier. It just I don't trust Craig. That's the reality is I don't trust Craig. But nonetheless, this was a very interesting, fun conversation we want to do for you all. Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Would you want to see Jamie Vardy? What would you guys want to see the Sounders do in that window before the Club World Cup? Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure to smash the like button. If you guys enjoy these types of videos where we talk about, stuff like this, let us know. And then, of course, boys and girls, we hope you all have a lovely day.